Hello SWTOR fans, Logun24x7 here, with another SWTOR video. This time I want to take a closer look at quests, story, morality systems, and other things I think will set SWTOR apart from the classic MMOs we are accustomed to. Will SWTOR be more than a clone or something more? You decide. I have a data transmission from a few young Siths in training, working for the Sith Lord Renning. Let's see how our young Siths handle this situation.
Renning deludes the Dark Council into believing he's advancing Sith knowledge. The truth is, he wastes the Empire's time and resources dissecting mindless animals. Bring me the brain before delivering it to Lord Renning, and I'll make it worth your while.
I'm sure there's some way we can work this out.
Now, we can see in this encounter the details in the cinematic presentation and quality VO we can expect to see. Our young Siths agree to accommodate Malura, but will they? Our young Sith will have to face many moral decisions as they progress. Who do they side with and how will the decisions they make impact them in the future? Only time will tell. Let's watch as they continue their search for the mutant giant Ducato. As we can see, they are still challenged with obstacles that require combat to overcome and eventually find the giant mutant Ducato. Now let's see what happens when they return to Lord Renning.
Have you finally acquired the mutant Ducato brain, or should I send someone else?
I have what you asked for.
You've done me a great service, but now I must continue my research.
Malura asked me to sabotage your experiment.
Wait, Master. It's a lie. I haven't betrayed you.
I'm releasing you from my service. Eventually.
Stop!
Betraying a Sith Lord looks to be a very recharging experience. Lord Renning wasn't too happy to find out his apprentice was plotting to tamper with his experiments. In this example we can see how the plot of the story can continue to change even up to the point of turning the quest in. The players had to make a choice, and that choice will likely affect the rewards and future quests they receive down the road. Now let's take a look what this looks like in other MMOs.
Hey citizen, you look like a stout one. We guards here are spread a little thin. This in the martial... Okay, who cares? Seems straightforward. Gotta kill this many kobold vermin. So, yeah.
Alrighty. One part of the quest done, next part, check up one of these skulls. Looks like a good place to find a skull. Pile of skulls.
Yeah, combat. Hello. You too. Her voice is very bad.
Here we see some examples of quests in other games. The presentation is the same, a box of text usually too long or boring for most to bother to read. The quest objective is very static and linear. Find X things to kill or collect and return to the quest giver. There are no cinematics, drama or emotion in the presentation, nothing to evoke a motive in a player to pick a side, or make a choice, even if they could, and they can't. The player has no choice, they just have to do the quest following it on one singular path to completion. Let's hear what Daniel Erickson has to say about SWTOR interactive story.
Story puts a glue in there that normally isn't there. It's not about just showing up to see whether or not there's a new trinket, there's a new goal, there's something new to grind about. At the same time, storytelling doesn't just mean talking. Storytelling means making decisions, having a real reason and meaning behind everything in the game, knowing why the statues look a particular way on Perman, knowing why the house is laid out this way, building a living, breathing space. MMOs have always been the aspects of the role-playing game without the heart of the role-playing game, which, you know, if you played a single-player RPG that had no story, you would think that somebody had just shipped you something that was not done.
Here are a few more examples of the high quality of voiceovers we can expect to see in SWTOR. If these set the standard for the rest of the VO we'll see in the game, I can't wait to play through the remaining 50 novels of content.
Look, I understand how things work here on Hata. I'll pay you handsomely to leave me in peace.
The Republic should be planting his head on a stake, not offering him protection.
You're as good as the old man says.
I'm Captain Reverend Orzik. I'm pretty sure I know what this is about.
The captain's dead! He's dead.
Shut up! You have our attention, my lord. What would you have us do?
We looked back at Knights of the Old Republic, which had full choreographed combat. Lightsabers hit each other, blaster bolts, you could tell where they were going. We said, okay, we need to do that, but we need to do that in real time in a server-based system, which ended up becoming one of the biggest real challenges and one of the biggest accomplishments of the game.
I have to say I'm totally wowed by the technology behind keeping track of thousands of players in real time. Now BioWare is making it possible to actually keep track of the position of their lightsabers and blaster bolts too. Let's look at a few examples, and also take note of the variety of animations and consider that we still haven't seen any combat over level 8. Let's look at classic MMO combat.
Throw a fireball at one of these suckers. Boom, 19. Boom.
As we can see, most MMO combat is structured to have one character swing or move, and then the next without any real interaction between the animations. A limited amount of real animations are actually used. Instead, the same animation is reused with just a different colored particle effect to trick you into thinking you are seeing something new. I'm running out of time in this video, and we still haven't touched on playership or companions.
Hi there, I'm Greg Zestra from BioWare.
And I'm Mary Burr from LucasArts.
Today we're going to delve deeper into Star Wars The Old Republic. We're sharing some details that we know you're going to be very excited about.
First, we're announcing that every player will get his or her own starship.
We want a playership to represent not only a rite of passage in the game, but also an expression of his or her personal style.
These ships are important because they offer a home for players to use and a base of operations from which to explore the galaxy.
Player ships, as a base of operations that can take you all over the universe, is like having MMO housing with a purpose. How many of you have struggled to save up the funds for MMO home, find a plot of land for it, then nearly never return to it? Look at the size of these friggin' things, they're huge. I'm seeing smaller guild halls and MMO's player ships will also be home for all your companions when not actively out adventuring with you. Let's hear a little bit more about companions from the developers.
Companion characters have always been a huge part of BioWare games, and they're also a big part of the Star Wars mythos. And so we felt that they were going to be very important to our game. And what the companion character is going to allow for is it's going to allow us to tell stories in a different manner, to allow for a player to have another voice before he makes a decision. His companion character will actually be his moral compass.
There's a lot of things that the companion characters also have their own stories, their own interests, and things that you can help them pursue. Or, depending on which side of the force you sit on, you can help them support them, or you can manipulate them.
Yeah, companion characters are great because they allow us to really give the players in each class more depth. Almost a multi-classing system in the fact that each class has its own companion characters, and each of those companion characters not only has a great story role like you would have seen in any of our role-playing games, has their own content, has their own quests and all that, but also brings to combat their own specific thing.
So there you have it, comprehensive player-directed stories, light dark morality systems, quests driven by player choice, dynamic branching outcomes, interactive multiplayer conversation systems, cinematic camera presentation, dynamic combat animations, cover systems, jetpacks and player characters designed to play like the Star Wars movie icons. Will SWTOR be more than a clone or something more? You decide. If you're playing any other game after SWTOR launches, well...
Ow, ow, ow. Sorry.